Well, people, we have a new film from Martin Campbell. It is called Cleaner. It is written by Simon Uttley, Andrew Williams, and Matthew Orton. The film is produced by Cindy Cowan, Chris Arthur, Thomas Fanning, Gavin Glendening, Callum Christopher Grant, and Michael Kuhn. It is executive produced by Simon Uttley, Michael Torshia, Marcus Shimrock, Michael Santos, Malcolm Ritchie, Kelly Lynn Reiter, Gary Raskin, Matthew Orton, Jane Hooks, Lee Harrison, Stanley Harper, Patty Harper, Linda Harper, Alan Harper, Barry Jermansky, Bafra Gangasani, Pieter Engels, Martha Chima, Mikola Soini Campbell, Alistair Burlingham, Alex Ashworth. It is associate produced by who do we have? Regina Seifert, with line production from Valentin Dimitrov and Kathleen DeBrincat. It is co-produced by Paul Parker. And also, I missed this one, Sebastian Raybould is another producer on the film. Okay, so Tom Hodge took care of the music. Egil Henson is on cinematography. Elaine Granger was casting. Art direction, we have Oscar de Rosario, Mark Harris, Mark Joseph Portelli, and Louise Vogel. Rob Cameron is set decoration. Costume design is Amanda Monk. Okay, let's just jump to the cast next. So we have got Joey, played by Daisley Ridley. A younger version of herself is played by Poppy Townsend White. Her brother Michael is played by Matthew Tuck. A younger version of Matthew is played by Dudley Watts. Their parents are played by Callum Warrington Hassman and Andrea Deek. We have got Noah, played by Taz Skylar. There's Big Ron, played by Russell de Rosario. We got Marcus, played by Clive Owen. Gerard Milton, played by Lee Boardman. His brother Jeffrey, played by Rufus Jones. There's Jennifer, played by Stella Stoker. Helena, played by Sol E. Romero. Derek, played by Gavin Fleming. Kate, played by Celine Arden. Freya, played by Mélissa Humler. Hendrik, played by Ben Essex. We've got Erica, played by Kaylin Harper. Z, played by Flavia Watson. Leon, played by Tom Boney. Vince, played by David Chung. Ant is played by Joshua Ravenscroft. Alistair Lawson, played by Richard Hope. Alison, played by Melanie Gray. Gabby Tresita, played by Regina Seifert. James Horsley is played by Aki Kutabi. Denise Slater, played by Lorna Lowe. Elaine Lanza, played by Cassandra Spiteri. D.S. Hume, played by Ruth Gemmell. D.I. Khan, played by Ray Fearon. Captain Royce, played by Howard Charles. That's the main lot of people, right? The gist of the story: set in present-day London, a group of radical activists take over an energy company's annual gala, seizing 300 hostages in order to expose the corruption of the hosts. Their just cause is hijacked by an extremist within their ranks, who is ready to murder everyone in the building to send his anarchic message to the world. It falls on an ex-soldier turned window cleaner, suspended 50 stories up on the outside of the building to save those trapped inside, including her younger brother. I thought it was her older brother, which was, that's all bizarre. Okay, so Cleaner, right? Now, I'd heard about this film a while back, and it was just like, okay, how are they going to do this, right? It sounded very similar to, kind of a Die Hard thing, there was that one with The Rock where he's getting into a skyscraper. It might have been called Skyscraper, right? But it sounded very similar to those type of films, right? Not the same plot, but you figure you're getting that kind of vibe, right? And we open up and you've got this girl climbing around her kitchen, right, on the cabinets. Then her parents, there's an argument, and we see her climb out of the window and sit on the ledge. And it's just like, it was an opening that we didn't need, that didn't give you anything, really. I mean, there's a reference to it later in the film, but it's just like there was no emotional impact from this opening, So it just felt like, why are we messing around with this? You know what I mean? We then have her realizing she's woken up late, which is always just tiresome, right? It's in these scenes, you have someone realize, oh, I've woken up late. Then they run around, they never shower. So you're thinking, right? You were up late. So obviously, a lot of times they've been drinking, So you're gonna be a bit frowsy, right? You're gonna be a little tingy. And you don't ever shout, but no one ever referenced. Someone's like, yo, son, what the fuck, man? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on with you? But yeah, so we have this. She's late for work. Then she gets a phone call. Her brother, the situation of her brother. So her brother's being kicked out of a care home. Her brother's autistic. And it's another one, playing an autistic person in this weird way. He just mad stereotypical. That's what this film is. It's kind of nuts. And also, it's like you show him freaking out, but then the freakouts don't necessarily happen when everything's getting crazy, right? It's very convenient on that front, right? But she goes to work, and The boss at work is a weirdo, obviously, right? But it's just this weird. They set up these weird scenarios. Like, he tells her to do this thing, and she's just like, "Oh," but I'm just like, "You're a window cleaner, right? That's part of the gig, kid. It's part of the gig, right?" So anyway, you get later in the film, and these people invade the party. It's all pretty obvious who's involved, because, you know, the camera stays too long on someone, or you see someone give a notable nod or wink or something, right? And if I'm spotting a wink and nod, that means it's so obvious, right? It's so obvious. If a blind motherfucker can spot that shit, you're doing something wrong, you know? So, yeah, this thing happens. We get this double cross. It's all like, oh, okay. But here's the jam. I think there's meant to be this surprise who's involved with the whole thing. It's not a surprise, right? I mean, if you've watched any sort of story, I imagine you have guessed straight away, oh, this person is going to be there, right? Now, here's the big thing as well. When Joey is talking to someone, she's like, "Oh, yeah, remember I got you this job." Now, you don't get people jobs who you don't know. You know what I mean? You if you're vouching for someone, you know what I mean? You pretty much, you have a grasp on who this person is, what kind of person this is, right? Which then calls into question so many other things later in the film, right? It's just, yeah, these scenarios are very odd. The relationships are very odd. Like, just the relationship between, oh my God, my name is Joey, right? And Michael doesn't really feel like brother and sister. I mean, look, we know Daisy Ridley, you know, she did Star Wars and everything like this, but in this film, we don't buy her as an action hero. You just don't buy. There's a bit when she's got all this blood on her face, and then the next scene she doesn't have hardly any blood on her face, and you're like, and then later on she's got more blood on her face. So you're just like, what? Come on, what are we doing? What are we doing? Right? The whole thing about like climate change is so ham-fisted too, because they're using these old narratives that aren't necessarily true. You know, like, it's a complex matter, the whole climate change thing, and they're going at it like, oh, it's just this, right? And these, you're just like, oh. They're having a conversation through glass windows. Now, this is a big skyscraper. Now, obviously, there's bigger ones in the world, but it's a big skyscraper. And you've got the window cleaner talking to someone else in the building through the glass. You want to know how shit that building would be if you could talk to someone through the glass? Right? You wouldn't be able to do a meeting. You wouldn't be able to do anything because you would just hear the traffic and planes and just probably birds flapping their wings through the glass. So the fact that having this conversation is bonkers. There's a bit where they smash a window and someone goes out the window. But then it's a nightmare trying to break a window, right? This glass thickness is so imbalanced all over, right? So, you know what I mean? It makes no sense. It's just, oh man, you know, it's very odd. We have just this whole setup of the Milton brothers. I don't even know what all of that is about. It's not necessary. It's not needed. It serves no purpose. They're dickheads, right? So we got one's meant to be a lecturer's kid, so you know, they're money laundering. But it's just like, why are we spending so much time on this? Because we don't get anything else. Like, there's no real depth on any single character. They try and add these subplots like Joey, who used to be in the army, and why did she leave? What happened? But it's just, who cares? Because it doesn't help the story. You know what I mean? Just the weird conversations that Joey has with DS Home are just like, wait, what police DI is telling anyone any of this kind of stuff that they're talking about? You know, you're scratching your head. It's listen, right? I think fans of Campbell, who, I mean, he's done some good stuff. He's also done some not so good stuff for me. That is, anyway. You know, obviously, you know, I like Casino Royale. I thought the prototype was good, you know. But then Dirty Angels was the last film he did. We covered that, you know. I feel that was late last year, right? I think. So there's been some good ones, but then there's been, you know, other ones like Vertical Limit and Green Lantern. Right? Oh my gosh. You know, so, but I think fans of his stuff, right? Fans of stuff like Best Man, right? That Dolph Lundgren film from the other year. You know, fans of that kind of action film, they might dig Cleaner. You know? Because there's some fights in it. There are, you know, some explosions and everything like that. But as a story, it is paper thin. The performances aren't challenged at all. You know, you just want to be able to believe in these characters. You don't believe in any of them, right? Just there's a bit when Joey is having a conversation with Noah when they're cleaning the windows, and this weird, like, the emotion Noah shows it just comes off as really weird, right? And if you're in that scenario, you just be like, wait, are you taking a piss? Do you really care what I'm saying to you, right? It was that over the top and odd. You know, so, I mean, if you're looking for a really hard-hitting actioner, this ain't it. But maybe if you want something to pass your time, right, you do not want to think, maybe that's when you throw on Cleaner. You know what I mean? But yeah, it is now available on all your favorite VODs. Cleaner.